Hey, what's up guys? So we're going to be checking out some new Yu-Gi-Oh cards that just got revealed, as well as going over a bunch of the newer reprints, as well as, I guess, first printings of some of these cards in the TCG, like Predaplant, Verdict's Anaconda, which is absolutely going to be insane. We're also going to be taking a look at some of the newer giant Yu-Gi-Oh cards as well. This all got revealed on a event that they went ahead and put out on the YouTube channel for once. We're getting fresh news from the official Yu-Gi-Oh channel, which is cool. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop right into checking out some of the newer cards. And the first card that we're going to be taking a look at is the Mayakashi Mayhem. So this is a new card supporting the Mayakashi Synchro Zombie archetype. Anyways, it says if a zombie synchro monster or monsters is special summoned except from the extra deck even during the damage step, you get to apply one of the following effects. You cannot apply the same effect of Mayakashi Mayhem for the rest of this turn. So the first effect that you can choose to utilize is to draw one card. The next effect is to set one Mayakashi spell/trap directly from your deck except for Mayakashi Mayhem. The third effect is send one monster with the lowest attack your opponent controls to the graveyard, your choice if tied. The other effect, in the fourth effect, is to get to inflict 800 damage to your opponent, and it says you can only activate the effect of Mayakashi Mayhem once per chain. So it is a continuous, so that is quite cool. But a lot of times, if you guys have played against the Mayakashi deck, you just go ahead and just get rid of that card via non-targeting removal. And as long as you get rid of it, they kind of fall apart really fast. But they'll just try to go into it next turn again. But nonetheless, it's another nice support card that might make the bad hands worse in that deck, but if you're already going off in that deck, you need to try to push, because unless of course you're running Bailed Rock, which can actually stall your opponent a little bit harder and kind of give you some extra protection. I'm not sure if this would make them super OP, but there's also YuGiOH the Absolute Zero Mayakashi over here, so if you haven't seen this card, we'll go over this card's effect real quick. So this is a Link monster that requires 2+ zombie monsters, and it says you can only control one YuGiOH the Absolute Zero Mayakashi. You get to negate any activated effects of your opponent's banished monsters. And then if a monster special summoned from the graveyard or a monster effect is activated in the graveyard except during the damage step, you get to target one other face-up monster on the field, change its attack to 0, and if you do, negate its effects. And it says you can only use the effect of the YuGiOH the Absolute Zero Mayakashi up to twice per turn. Usually you expect it to say once, but that's kind of cool. There's also a new card that is really good for the 10 Ys. This is Hollow Giants. So it says activate this card if both players control a monster that was special summoned from the extra deck. Negate the effects of face-up monster special summoned from the extra deck. If a monster or monster is destroyed by battle involving two monsters that were special summoned from the extra deck, send this card to the graveyard. Also, the player who controlled the destroyed monsters takes 1000 damage. So that's actually pretty good. This could actually be pretty interesting to see if someone tries to make an anti-meta-ish deck. This could actually be pretty good because you could instantly go into just a Link Karibo or any generic Link monster that doesn't really have an effect, right? Pretty good with that effect, and you're able to again burn for a little bit of damage. So I think that card will be interesting to see if people will actually be messing around with it. Next up, we got some prints and again reprints of some of the more important cards that you guys probably need to get. That Fantastical Dragon, pretty nice, and also Watt Giraffe. Also some of the higher rarities looks like that. At least from the picture, it looks like Swap Frog Ultra Rare. I mean, at least via the text, these look like they're ultra rare. We don't have confirmation on that specifically, but they did show it off in the video. There's also the Modolce Mageline and the Pudding Sauce Chocolate a la Mode. Here's the picture of this. Mageline definitely needed a reprint over here. Some of these cards are very expensive that are finally getting some reprints, as well as, again, some of these are finally just coming out here for us in the TCG. So Malefic Territory, Malefic Divide, Malefic Selector, Malefic Tune, and the Paradox Gear. Then also Cubic Extension, Cubic Casualty, and Cubic Dharma. Those are all getting printed over here. And then we have another newer Yu-Gi-Oh card. This is Traptrix Genelicia. And I like the artwork on this card, that's for sure. But anyways, it's unaffected by the effects of whole normal traps. And it says you contribute this card to set 2 whole normal traps with different names, one from your deck and one from your graveyard, but banish them when they leave the field. You can only use the effect of Traptrix Genelicia once per turn. So that's another newer Yu-Gi-Oh card over here. They also showed off the artwork of the oversized Yu-Gi-Oh card. So I have some on my wall, but nonetheless, they're not like the super super giant ones, but they're like larger cards. You can't use them in actual duels. These are more for collector purposes than anything. At first, when I saw these, when these were announced, I thought they were like unfinished. No, they're actually going to be coming out in black and white. It's supposed to be kind of like for the manga, so like the comics, if you will. Basically, they're trying to have the same artwork. So that's kind of cool. It might be nice to have in the background, but since it's uncolored, maybe you guys can color them in. I think if I end up getting some of these, I'll probably end up coloring them, and we'll see what we can do with them, but they look pretty cool. So as far as the set goes, there are 100 new cards in this set. There are 30 new Link monsters, and then we also got some reprints, then famous monsters with new art, and then the manga movie cards, and then things that will be important here. Reprint, Silent Mining, that's pretty huge over here. And, I think there's so many. We got the Tenyi Spear over here. We got the Somorg Link monster. And then Celestial Night Lord Parshath is also getting printed in here. And then we have the 5-headed Link Dragon. If you guys haven't seen this card in gameplay, it's actually really cool. I'll pin a video down below. You're making boss monsters. You can throw this in Lightsworn. This is kind of a splashable card if you are playing a deck that can use a lot of different attributes. This is a super boss monster, and it's just kind of fun to go ahead and actually make. And then on top of that, we're getting so many insane prints in here. Y-Strix is finally coming out. Herald of Mirage Lights, the Condemned Dark Lord, and Crossroads Dragon. Most importantly, the Y-Strix. This card, we've been waiting so long in the TCG, and we're finally getting it. We're also getting Union Carrier, which is absolutely insane here. It lets you just go ahead and equip, and you can lock your opponent out. You know, there's just so much content here. I'm just going to start pinning. There's just going to be a bunch of videos. So guys, if you guys want to see how good some of these cards are going to actually be, this combo with the Union Carrier actually opens up the doors for literally infinite negates. Although there was some new ruling, I'm not sure if it's going to be applied, but there was a ruling where they made it so like it doesn't work. But again, since we haven't had the card in the TCG, I don't know what the official ruling is for it, but you basically can use the Mist Valley and you just loop it infinitely. Other important cards, the Crystron Needlfiber, aka Halifabrix, is going to be in here as well. So that's going to be a huge card. The Bujin Link monster, I mean, I made a video talking about how that card just was not good enough, and I don't think it is currently in the game. Like, you can't really play Bujins in 2020 and hope to actually win. Next up, though, this is a huge card, the Predaplant Verte Anaconda. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this card, heard everyone complain about this card, because it is so easy to make, and you can just straight super poly. You just go for dragon or red dice. That's basically what it's used for, let's be honest here. But it can be utilized in other decks, and it still is a fantastic card nonetheless. And then also we're getting the DDD Abyss King Gilgamesh over here, so that's another cool card if you guys are interested in playing DDDs. And then there's also different art variants of some cards that you guys have probably seen before. We got the Tour Guide from the Underworld alternate artwork. We got the Cyber Dragon Infinity, Sky Striker Ace Kagari, and the Chaos Dragon Levnier, which is also kind of a reprint of that card. I remember the card was hitting like $30 at one point. And then also other prints in here. Enma's Judgment here. When your opponent special summons a monster, destroy it, and then you can banish 5 zombie monsters from your graveyard. If you do special summon 1 level 7 or higher zombie monster from your hand or deck, which is pretty insane. Some of these we're getting finally the prints in the TCG, so they're kind of new cards essentially to us. And then we're also getting some Witchcraft prints over here. So we have the Witchcrafter Creation and Witchcrafter and Madame Very over here. And then we also got that Double Evo Pill. This card would just kind of go up in price. Same thing with Oviraptor. If you guys have looked at the prices of some of the Dino decks, or heck, if you look at the Atlantean one, that thing is just shooting up in price like crazy, just because some of those cards just haven't had their prints. Well, I guess technically they had those old T's, right? Like old T Dragoons and super, what's it, heavy infantry. Anyways, Cyber Emergency is also in here, and then Caspar and Starfire, Starfire also getting a print in here. And then also in permanents, like this set is looking to be absolutely insane. And once again, this is going to be for the dual overload over here. But you know, as many good cards as is in the set, we got to know those ratios, and I'll be updating you guys on that in the future to see how good those cards are going to be printed as far as ratios. So if you guys are new here and you want to see that, make sure you guys are subscribed and turn on that bell. But we've got more new Yu-Gi-Oh cards to go ahead and check out. These are for the rush duels. This is something that we may not get just as a heads up in the TCG, but some of these cards may have some type of crossover. There are going to be cards that have the same artwork and basically the same effect. So there might be a crossover here in the TCG with just vanilla versions of the cards. And I don't mean vanilla by no effect. I mean, they won't be a rush version of the card. But it's just interesting to see where the game is going. So this is a new card called Counter Offensive Dragon Strike, which is a trap card that says requirement: when a monster, dragon type monster you control is destroyed by opponent's monster attack, you can activate this by sending one card from your hand to the graveyard. Select and destroy one monster your opponent controls. Okay, mediocre effect at the end of the day on that one. We've got Curtain of Sparks over here. So it says trap card requirement: when your opponent's monster declares an attack and there is a monster spellcaster type in your graveyard, the attacking monster loses 500. Okay, that's really mediocre. And then next we have the Luminous Shaman over here. So this is a level 2 light spellcaster effect monster, 500 attack, 0 defense points, and it says requirement: you can activate this by sending this face-up card on the field, on your field to the graveyard. Select one face-up monster level 4 or lower spellcaster you control during this turn. It can attack directly. Okay, these are really mediocre. This is just piercing damage. Requirement: none. Effect: select one face-up monster you control during this turn. It attacks. Pierce when it attacks a defense position monster, inflicting battle damage equal to how much attack. Okay, that's just piercing. Okay, it literally doesn't even boost up the stats. Okay, so all these new rush cards, absolutely just disappointing. I really thought some of these were going to be like insane, but nonetheless, a lot of big news from Duel Overload. Let me know, guys, if you guys are going to be picking this one up or if you guys are going to be skipping out on it. I think, again, the set is looking pretty good. And, you know, going forward, they did announce there's going to be no more of the short prints and stuff like that. But again, we'll have to wait and see. Sometimes errors do happen. But I'm thinking that this is going to be a huge set, and this is going to really shape up the game, especially with the Verde Anaconda. Almost every deck is going to be playing that card. I wonder how rare and how expensive that card will be. You know what? I want to say, comment in the comment section below, how expensive do you guys think Verde Anaconda is going to be? This and Needlfiber. I would say let's go with like 20. I'm going to go 20, like 20 bucks a piece. Let's see if it's correct. We'll see how the market shifts up on these, but I'm thinking like 20 bucks a piece. Unless of course, watch, they're going to be secret rare, super short print, $100 plus cards. But this card is absolutely amazing, and you don't want to miss out on it. And like I said, I've covered a lot of these in gameplay, so if you guys want to go ahead and check them out, I'll link it down below. I know a lot of people really love the 5-headed dragon. Well, it's called the 5-God Link Dragon or something originally, and we made a 5-God Link Sworn. It was really cool. Definitely check it out. It'll be pinned down below. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe so you don't miss out when we cover more of these, and we'll go, maybe we'll get a box of this or something. We'll see, and we'll see those ratios, because that's what I'm mostly interested in. I'm thinking you guys are as well. And then I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one, and I'm out. Peace.